Hi!
안녕하세요. My name is Francine. Francine입니다.
And my name is Haeweon. 저는 혜원입니다. We are Blooming Ludus.
Where the planet comes to play. We have made theater about energy, rivers, housing, and cities.
We've also made theater about two singing Atlantic codfish and the ocean. Salt and...
Vinegar!
We had so much to do in 2020. Salt and Vinegar were due for their next show.
And then the pandemic came. Originally a street theater musical comedy duo, Salt and Vinegar had to adapt just like we all did.
So we decided to make them into puppet film stars. This way, we could share them with the whole planet.
As we worked, we got curious. Who else was making art for the planet during a pandemic?
We reached out and invited them for tea digitally.
Then the party got bigger. We hosted the Blooming Ludus Green Forum, 2 days of workshops, discussions, and project ideas.
Here's a snippet of that event.
Day 1. How are you doing?
어떻게 지내고 계세요? We spent the day exploring how our relationship to our environment affects the work we make about the climate crisis. Choice. Hyunjin led a short physical warm-up all about the choices we make every day. Why do we make these choices, and what is unseen?
Art as action. We spoke a lot about the relationship between impact, time, and need. If we can build awareness and restrictions into our creative process from the beginning, we can move beyond guilt and into better action.
Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo. Jimin presented a game using Google Jamboard. She shared how the Salt and Vinegar project has changed her relationship to plastics we use on a daily basis.
Blackout poetry. The news about the climate crisis brings up many emotions, including anger, powerlessness, and grief. Sierra O'Neill helped us tackle our emotions through a creative process, digitally blacking out words to transform the news into something new.
Bridging the gap between sustainability and theater. Working on climate justice and the climate crisis can be isolating, and it is hard to challenge the very institutions, structures, and people who control the flow of jobs for artists. Julia and Tess told us about their work uniting the Canadian theater community to develop inclusive, sustainable practices.
Day 2. What are you doing?
무엇을 하고 계세요? This day was all about projects and best practices in our community. Broadleaf Theater. Artistic director Kevin Wong shared the story of how he worked with two indigenous water protectors and land defenders to create the Chemical Valley project. It documents the continuing resistance of Vanessa and Busy's community, reconciliation, and environmentalism in Canada.
All the way to hell. In American law, whoever is in the land, it is theirs all the way to heaven and all the way to hell. Eliza Evans spoke to us about how she is giving away her mineral rights to hundreds of people, making it harder for oil companies to acquire land for development.
A user-friendly guide, Plant Human. How can we build work through a non-human-centered experience? In Ludic Collective's workshop, Henny and Yulia asked us to modulate our senses rather than eyes for seeing, tongues for tasting, or ears for hearing. Imagine that each cell of your body contains the same level of sensory receptors.
Moving a forest. Did you know that forests are slowly migrating in response to climate change? Boram Kim's cooperative game involves 4 players, a politician, a scientist, an NGO leader, and an entrepreneur, who have to move the trees of a primeval forest to a new location.
Sound Walk for the Planet. Taeyeon took us on a digital sound walk. We heard a living coral reef, compared to a slowly dying one. And whale song that is echoing away. How do we experience climate change through sound?
And then we shared how Salt and Vinegar survived their transformation to a digital platform with the help of our associate artists.
I was happy to share what we haven't known and learned together. My previous knowledge was just a small part of big learning. I was a bit worried about changes in my life and impacts after the project. However, that impact was a good thing.
Salt and Vinegar were very happy to meet everyone through our forum, and so were we.
As Blooming Ludus, we truly believe it is not too late to rise to the challenge of the climate crisis.